Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Pulse. I am your host, Connor Sundet, and on behalf of myself and the team here at Spokane Talks, we are very happy to have you with us. We have a couple of exciting segments coming up, one with Ken and one with Kendall, so stay tuned right after this.
At Wendell, you are respected, you are valued, and we have an experience tailored to fit your lifestyle.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Gina.
And we bought 3 cars from Wendell Motors. Throughout the day, I just kind of would get updates, texts, phone calls, and I was actually really impressed with how my wife was taken care of.
People should shop at Wendell because they make you feel like family.
For your tailored experience, come see us at Wendell at the Y or Wendell.com.
What happens when you pay your ABC membership?
We're glad you asked.
We educate the future workforce.
We keep you safe.
Negotiate the best insurance rates.
Organize networking events.
Implement 401k programs.
To keep our members open shop.
Offer discounts to make you profitable.
Each path to success is different,
But they all start and go through ABC.
We are ABC, Associated Builders and Contractors of the Inland Pacific.
Where all the best builders and contractors locally unite.
When building a home or considering a major remodel, who are you going to choose? The Spokane Home Builders Association is an organization that works to elevate professionalism in the residential construction industry. We promote, protect, and educate for our community, building our community one home at a time. We are the Spokane Home Builders Association.
First, join us with Kent as he talks with Judi from Kool 107.1. The only locally owned broadcast station in Spokane, where they talk about broadcast and how it's changed from then and now. Take a look.
Kent Adams here, and welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. I've got, I was going to say an old friend, but old in terms of it's been like 15 years, not in terms of age because we're young. Judi's here. We're going to talk with Judi right after this.
Spokane Realtors are dedicated to helping you find the right place to live. We're more than 2,000 strong, small business men and women guiding you through this most important purchase. We're also your neighbors, giving back thousands in volunteer hours to make our community a better place. We believe owning a home helps you live longer, with stronger families and better neighborhoods. That's who we are, ready to help you find your way home. Call one today.
Well, as I said at the opening, one of the things I get to do on the Pulse is to have friends in as well as community members. And you cover both. Judi?
Thank you.
All right. You're going to have to help me.
Okay.
Because I knew you by a different last name a few years ago. And it's Judi Rappensteiner?
Correct.
Freyers?
Freyers. Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Judi. It's Judi from the rest of this program.
I don't blame you.
Okay. Do you have trouble keeping track yourself?
No.
No.
Rabensteiner has been my name pretty much all my life.
When you were a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From...
I won't ask how long ago that was because
Thank you.
because we still act like kids, right?
Of course.
Of course. Of course.
Age is a number.
Okay, where did we work together?
We worked together at KHQ.
Yes, we were in sales, right?
Yes, we were.
Yes, and we were talking before we went on about some of the sales and so forth, right? Yeah. It's a different game today, isn't it?
Well, I think at the time we were working at KHQ, it was a lot about broadcast sales.
Yes.
And then as time went on, it became more broadcast
digital
versus digital.
Yes.
And or a combination thereof.
Right.
So yeah, it is different. Well, radio's different.
Yes.
Altogether.
Yes. Yeah. Radio
and TV.
Yeah. One of my good friends, and I've said it before on the air, is Neil Bowling, who is the general manager there. And,
yeah.
And we do some things together. We do this Beyond Politics, where we get community members to talk. We've done some entertainment programs where they will share it on their Facebook page with us and so forth. It's hard to get in and buy TV time these days because of syndication and national news and all of that.
And that minor little cost.
Oh, yes. Well, we've found our niche, and actually, I think I might have said this before, but but we are working on adding a couple of brand new and exciting news programs here.
Yay.
And we plan to be within the next year to year and a half the #1 news deliverer in Spokane, beating even the broadcast stations.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and
I like that aspiration.
Yes, absolutely. A consultant that we have down in Phoenix, when he said, well, how long do you think it'll take? And I said, 3 or 4 years. He said, no, based on what's going on in broadcast and the volatility of broadcast and what you're doing, Kate, you're where the folks are going to watch and listen and so forth. So anyways, but enough about us. You're with a broadcast station these days, right?
I am with Kool 107.1.
That's cool.
It is cool. It is
that.
really cool.
Yeah.
I came up through radio.
Yeah.
That's where I got my start in the broadcast business.
Well, unlike me, I have a face for radio, but you have a face for both. So.
Oh, you're nice to say. So yes, I'm with Kool. It's the only locally owned radio station in Spokane.
Okay.
There's literally 4 of us, 4 employees, the owner, his wife, myself, and an admin. And it's got the best playlist in town.
Doing some of the oldies, right?
A lot of the oldies.
A lot of the
so
oldies,
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s to the mid-80s.
Okay.
And also just short little commercial breaks.
Okay.
So you're listening to music, and especially people that have it on like in their workplace, for example.
Right. Don't have to keep going and changing.
Right. Well, you don't have to listen to a lot of the, so.
I've always found it interesting when radio stations talk about, 14 in a row. Well, that's fine, except then how many minutes or hours of commercials follow that? And we both know. And the listeners know out there what they do when that commercial pod comes. But hardly anyone ever gets to listen to the commercials because they're moving on to something else.
Right. Or they're turning the sound down, or they're going off to wash the dishes or put a load of laundry in, because you don't want to sit and listen to 10 to 15 minutes of commercials.
Right.
Whereas Kool has 2-minute breaks.
Oh, that's great.
And
that is really great.
The rest is all music. And the thing is, too, that right in these times, music is so important to bring us together as a community, or just to distract us from the bad news that's out there. And these are songs that no other radio station is playing.
Oh, good.
I mean, songs you would hear and think, I haven't heard that song in ages. Now,
you have quite a transmitter. You're all over the area, right?
Oh, yeah. We're Spokane. Basically Spokane, Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
So we're good. It is a smaller radio station, so there's not as large a reach.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, the people who listen are loyal.
Oh, yes.
And they love
because they know what
the
they're going to
station.
get. They're going to get the music of their time.
Yes.
Okay. And we all have a time.
Yes.
Sometimes we have times, but we had a time. And with 2-minute commercial, I still kind of chuckle to myself when I watch TV, because I watch it the news and so forth to see what's going on and so forth. And when they have 3 and 4 minute, I've counted up to 4.5-minute breaks in a news program. And I'm sorry, what people are doing, they're going somewhere else. And we keep our maximum time for a commercial is 2 minutes, usually 1.5 minutes. And even at the beginning of the program, we want people to go away, so it's usually 30 seconds, okay? Because we know what the habits are of people. We all do the same thing. We move on to something else or turn them down. So we're aware of that on social media, and they can be picky out there on social media and go other places.
Well, yeah, media consumption by users is so fragmented now. It used to be that, appointment television. So a show was coming on at 6 p.m. and you couldn't not be sitting there at 6 p.m. Well, now we have DVRs and we can record and fast forward and do whatever we want. So it's really fragmented. And then also, like you're saying, with radio, it's usually people in their cars that are listening to the radio.
Yes.
But also online, social media, you have so many choices.
That's true.
So,
and you're online with Kool FM, right?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can sit there at my computer and others might not know.
Well, why wouldn't you want them to know?
I don't care. I'm the boss, so I can kind of do what. Yeah, I have to fight with Connor in there
about what music.
Because some of the music he listens to is some of the oldies, but then he knows who all the bands are and everything else, and they're not some of the ones that I listen to at his age in the 20s, early 20s and so forth. So, yeah.
Well, that's one of the other nice things about Kool is that we've introduced a whole new generation to music that was not of their adolescence, which to me is the time where you really embrace music and it becomes sentimental as you get older. But yeah, there's a lot of great artists that maybe kids didn't have exposure or access to when they were younger, but as they get older and they start kind of experimenting around and trying out different music, then they get on board with a lot of those older bands, especially the 70s, it seems like. 70s and 80s.
70s, yes, I was going to say that. Are all your local jocks local, or you got some national things coming in? How does that work?
This is one of the reasons I wanted to come here, Ken.
Okay.
Is that radio used to be a different animal.
Yes.
So in 1996, the Telecommunications Act allowed for corporations to buy up multiple TV and radio stations.
iHeartMedia, for instance.
Well, that's a good example. There's many of those.
Yes.
Whereas Kool, 107.1 FM, Spokane, Kool is locally owned.
Okay.
And I know that, through the pandemic, a lot of locally owned businesses really struggled and to make ends meet.
We highlighted a lot of them on ours.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. And so I just want to let people know that Kool will promote a local business like crazy.
Good.
And because it's smaller, it's a reasonable media buy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, radio used to be, like you were saying, you call the request line, you actually talk with the jock while he's on the air live.
Right.
And he may play your call back over the air.
Right.
Whereas now it's a lot of what they call voice tracking.
Yes.
So there's nobody, they do all the recordings
ahead of time
in studio. They know what their playlist is going to be, so they can do their intros and outros. And so it's a different world.
It is.
Did you ever see that movie FM?
No.
I think it came out like in early 1980s. But that is one of the movies that I saw that made me want to go into broadcasting.
Oh, really?
Yes, because it was the whole premise was management was trying to get them to do more commercial breaks, and the kind of the staff was like kind of pushing back on that, and then
it's hard to engage.
Things ensued, if you will. I don't want to give it away, but it's a really great movie, and it's got a super soundtrack. Linda Ronstadt. I can't even think of all the stars that were in it. But yeah, FM. And to me, that represents what radio was.
Yes. Yes, even back in the AM days, radio was that. I'm thinking back to the days growing up in Los Angeles. I know in Spokane there were a couple of top 40 stations. So there were 3 or 4 in Los Angeles because it's a bigger community and so forth. We had KHJ, we had KFWB, and a number of stations, all AM for the most part, that at some point became FM, because FM was the classical music and the stations run by the universities and those kinds of things. And then I remember my dad, I was in high school, my dad coming down and we got the stereo, and he said, now, does the bass all go to the left and the treble go to the right? No, Dad, it's not that way. Exactly. I mean, that's how new FM was. And we didn't have the choice of really the top 40 and those things back then that we now can get on both AM and FM. So it's much better to the ear.
I would agree. Well. When I was at Gonzaga, part of my broadcasting curriculum was having to do a show every semester.
Yes.
And I did a reggae show. I did an 80s show. I did grunge was the big thing when I was at GU.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity as a student to really operate the board, know how to talk into the mic, and pull carts, which carts aren't even a thing anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember substituting on AM 920 for Mike Fitzsimmons and a couple of the other people back in the real talk show days and so forth. And then KXOY put in cameras on channel 14, and I had to wear a tie and everything. It's like, okay, all the secrets are gone, you know, what I'm doing while people are talking and so forth, and you can't scratch where it itches, or, you know, I mean, just all of that. We have several interns from Gonzaga University. Matter of fact, following me is going to be a gal who is going to interview Kate Hudson, and she is a PR marketing. Kendall is the intern at Gonzaga, and by chance kind of went and thought, well, I'd like to see what this broadcast stuff is like. And do you know what she wants to be now? You know, I always ask, what do you want to be, kid, when you grow up? I want to be an anchor. That was not what she started out to be at Gonzaga. And in fact, later this week, she's going to talk about her story with Sulani Madsen and the fact that Kendall and her family were burned out in that Boulder fire around last Christmas. And so she's going to talk about that later this week, and we're going to put it out. And we all know about that. And she spent an extra couple weeks during the Christmas break at home and so forth. But we've had some great, the Connor over there, our second Connor, because we have to have two Connors here. He's from Whitworth and graduated and ran the radio station up there. So we're getting some students that are coming in with some experience and so forth.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, good for Whitworth for still having a student-run radio station.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at Gonzaga, somewhere around 1997, they decided to go all classical.
Yes.
So the students now only do top-of-the-hour IDs. And
Well,
when I was there, we did everything. We did news. We did PSAs and.
Well, the only two stations I listen to on the radio, now three, you can maybe guess what the third one will be, are the EWU station, Jazz, and Gonzaga, because of classical. The fact is, I'm not in my car like I used to be. I live 20 blocks south of here, and it takes me about 3 minutes to get to work. Car doesn't even get warm in the morning.
Convenient.
Yeah.
That's no commute at all.
No, it's downhill sliding, and uphill can be a challenge going home. But it's fun to see these students graduate on, even those who are marketing and community relations, advertising students who we put in front of the mic to do the talking, because if they're going to be a marketing person for a company, you know they're going to be pushed in front of a camera at some point. And I've gotten really...
Or just in front of a client even.
Yes.
You have to be
so true,
poised and confident.
Right.
And so that's great.
And how did we get by?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
Or KHQ ratings.
Yeah. Well, and I think about the ratings when you and I were there, when we would be selling to 25 to 30,000 pairs of eyes for the news that night, and it's less than half these days. And they're the #1 news station in town. That's where broadcast is going. Unfortunately, it's tough.
It's morphing for sure.
Yeah.
I do think that there is still an audience, though.
Yeah. No.
I think it's easy to just click that on, and even if you're not fully engaged, you're kind of hearing it.
Well, you want to know in the morning about the weather for your kids or grandkids.
Or anything fun happening around town.
Okay. Fun? Things fun happen? Where have I been the last 2 years?
Kent.
I got to ask, you got a son who's back in Michigan?
Correct.
Okay. And you were getting ready to have him the last time I think I saw you when we were at KHQ, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. You were leaving because you were going to have a baby.
That was David.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
so
I forgot
I've only
about
seen
that.
pictures of him, but is he enjoying
He is
university
a doll.
life?
He loves it. Well, he as a young boy, he really loved chess.
Okay.
That was his thing. You know, he was a big chess tournament guy.
Okay.
And then as he got into high school, he kind of got into debate.
Yes, I remember reading about that.
And
yes.
he became very good at debate and kind of worked his way up. And now he's coaching and mentoring other students at the university in debate.
In his first year?
Yeah, as a freshman.
Oh, wow.
Judging.
Mama's proud, aren't you?
Yes. Can you tell?
Yeah. Yes. Did he come home for the holidays?
He did. He came home for Christmas. I have both my daughter and son home.
Okay.
And he's going to come
now,
home.
How old is your daughter?
24.
Oh, she's old. I'm kidding.
Well, not as old as us.
my youngest daughter is like 41. Okay, so
yeah, she's
my
living
grandkids are her age, okay, and a little bit younger.
Well, look at you still kicking though.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I'm 75 and a half. And the joke is, you know, when you ask the little girl, how old are you? And they'll say, I'm 1.5.
Right.
Well, that's at the beginning of life. When you get at my end, we count the half years, kid. You know, you count everything you can count on. So, but
it's your half birthday.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Why not?
I'm actually only a couple months away from turning 76. But, you know, someone was telling my wife the other day, well, can't stay home and take care of you because she's had heart issues and so forth. Oh. My wife says, no, I don't want him home 24 hours a day. It's, you know, I try to get home mid-afternoon and so forth. But what would I be doing? I literally would be bored to death.
I agree with you 100%. And I've heard over and over how people sort of spiral down after they retire because they're kind of at a loss. And so your wife is probably right. She probably did you a big favor by saying that.
Yeah, someone told me the other day, you need to prepare for retirement. Can't we all? And he said, we always talk about the financial preparing, but you also need to plan for retirement, meaning what are you going to do? A lot of my peers, and you would know a lot of them in the community, went and worked for Habitat for Humanity. And so, well, they won't let me get near a house with a hammer and nail. Okay.
Why not?
Well, it's obvious. I mean, you know, and so I wanted to leave one more thing that I can contribute to this community, and this is it.
This is it. Great.
I will retire in a couple of years.
Good for you. Good for you. I hope I'm still doing and being as busy as you were at that age. Because
I thought you were older than me. I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm
kidding.
Getting
close.
She's going to slap me after the program.
No. I'm getting close.
No.
But
are you having fun?
Always.
Okay.
You know me.
Yes.
I'm a fun person.
Yes, you are.
I'm a person that likes to have fun and creates fun.
Okay. If someone wants to get in contact with you about Kool FM and your advertising and all of that.
Yes.
In fact, I visited the studios years ago.
Oh, you
with
did?
Bob. Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Bob, that's my boss.
He might remember me.
Bob Anthony.
Yes. And that's his middle name, isn't it, Anthony?
Yes, and we won't say his surname.
Oh, okay. I give giving away secrets. Okay.
No.
Say hi. He may or may not remember me from years ago. If good place, good equipment and everything in there. Nice studios.
It is.
You're still up on 400 Jefferson?
No, actually, we're now up north.
Oh, okay.
We're on West Joseph.
Oh, okay.
Right near Franklin Park.
Oh, okay.
But it's probably a lot like what you saw.
Yeah.
It's just a different location, just like you. We bounce around.
Oh, yeah. I got to keep away from the folks chasing you.
Oh, the creditors.
I didn't want to say that. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
How do people get in touch with you?
So if you want to advertise, which we highly encourage local businesses too,
right?
Because we're a local business and we want to support local business, and especially right now, it's super important. Yeah. So it's Judi. This is my email, Judi, Judi,
right,
at kool1071.com.
Okay.
Or if you want to call me, I'm putting my number out right here.
All right. Okay.
509-558-9694.
All right.
And that's how you can get a hold of me, and I'd love to talk to some local businesses and see what we can do to help promote them.
Maybe we can even partner together and put together some joint packages.
I love that.
Really,
I would love that.
We're as local as you.
Exactly. And that's
people call me local.
It's well, you are.
Yeah.
But no, it's so important right now that with the big corporations are making their money.
Yes.
And poor, smaller mom and pop businesses are struggling.
We're fighting for every dollar.
And so we need to support them.
Yep. Great.
So that's what I hope I can do.
Judi, so good to see you.
You
We've
too.
texted back and forth over the
know.
last few years.
Yes.
A lot has happened. I'm glad to hear that that little one is a freshman back in Michigan, David, and I've never met him, but I've seen pictures. He's got a head of hair.
Oh my goodness. He inherited that from his granddad.
Okay.
My dad had.
Oh, okay.
To the day he was.
Does he go to the barber very often?
He doesn't really like to go to the barber,
well,
as you can tell.
I kind of could, yeah.
Hey, you know what? All those debate kids, though,
yes.
I kid you not, I went to enough tournaments. Those boys like that big, crazy Einstein, messy, blah, whatever they're doing.
Okay.
I think as he gets older, though, it'll become more tame.
Yeah, well, we all had dues way back then.
80s hair.
Yeah.
Hairspray.
Yeah, yes.
So, well, thank you so much for having me here. Good to see you, too. And I hope everybody will tune in to 107.1 FM.
All right.
Check out the playlist.
I'm going to add that to my other two today.
Thank you.
All right.
And
thanks for watching the Pulse of Spokane, everybody. Have a great day.
All right.
Next, join us with Kendall as she talks to Kate Hudson about events going on downtown this March. Take a look.
Hi everyone, today I am here with Kate and we are going to talk about the upcoming events happening in Spokane. Hi Kate.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, so let's get right into what's happening in Spokane this month.
Sure, we have things. We have all sorts of things. We have Masterworks 6, the genesis of the Spokane Symphony. That is the first weekend of March, the 5th and the 6th at Martin Wilson Theater at the Fox. And it's a celebration of the 75th anniversary of the symphony being in existence in Spokane. So they've had a very long run, and they'll be playing music that is special to them and has been over the years. So they'll have a guest pianist. Archie Chen will be joining, so it should be a great time.
Wow, yes, that sounds awesome. So how do I find tickets for that?
You can go to visitspokane.com and click on the events tab. We can link you to anything that you're looking for. So that's probably the easiest way to do it, or you can go directly to the Spokane Symphony site.
Awesome. Okay, so next we have the Disney Princess, the concert, which is also this weekend, so we have a pretty packed weekend.
We do, which is nice to see. It's been pretty dry through the COVID years. This is March 5th, Saturday, and this is for anyone that loves the Disney Princess movies. This will be Broadway stars on stage at First Interstate Center for the Arts, and they will be singing all of the iconic Disney Princess songs that we all know and love. So if you have littles who love Disney princesses, or if you're a grown-up who is really into Disney, this is the event for you.
I know. I might have to go to that one. Love Disney.
I know.
As a 21-year-old, you got to do it.
Get dressed up and go. Wear your tiara. It'll be
seriously.
fun.
You can't go to Disneyland here, so you might as well go to this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it should be fun, and they'll be telling stories about what it's like to play these different characters and on stage, and I think it'll be a fun event.
Yeah. So the next one is the Model Train Show. It's a great way to get connected with Spokane's history. So
yes.
Tell me about that.
We have a very rich railway history, and it's still booming to this day. They also hold a certain amount of fascination for young and old. My 8-year-old loves all the trains and the model trains, so he is looking forward to going to this show. It's at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center. They'll have 300 tables of railroad-related items, all sorts of displays. You can buy and sell things. Should be a fun event and a great event to take the kids to.
Yeah. So what are some things we can look forward to at the Model Rail Show? Like, what could we buy there?
There's linens, there's old lanterns, there's memorabilia. You can see it all. So whatever you're into.
Definitely add to the collection.
And I love all the old model trains and the dioramas and the work and intricate details that they put into all of those models.
No, for sure. And you can like hear the train running by even here in the studio. So it'll be really cool to go to that.
Yeah.
So the next one, Jefferson Starship. I've never heard of them personally because I'm so young, but they do have quite the background history.
They do. They've been around since the 70s, which is when I was born. So I remember Jefferson Starship vaguely from the 80s. They've been around for a long time. And I'm sure if you heard some of their music, you would recognize the songs. You just wouldn't put it together with Jefferson Starship. They will be doing a concert March 10th at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort at the concert hall there. Tickets are $40. And they've had a ton of top 40 singles. And over the years, they have changed band members, but it's still the same sound. So guaranteed to be a great time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that it's out in Coeur d'Alene. So how did we hear about it?
It's actually in Worley, Idaho. The Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort is down in Worley. The Coeur d'Alene tribe runs that. It's a wonderful venue. It's not a long drive. It's an hour drive, so you can go and stay at the resort if you don't want to drive home the same night, and stay and gamble and make a night of it.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun weekend to me.
But they're wonderful partners, and so they always post their events on our site. So we're all encompassing with the Spokane region. So you can find things in Coeur d'Alene, you can find things in Worley, you can find things all over the place. So.
Yeah. So if I'm a business, how do I submit like events that I might be hosting to you all?
Sure. You can reach out to me, Kate Hudson at visitspokane.com, and I can make sure it gets forwarded to our crew at the Visitor Information Center. They are in charge of putting events on our calendar if they qualify. And yeah, pretty easy.
Awesome. That sounds great. All right. So the Inland Northwest Motorcycle Show.
Yes.
So this was postponed for a few years, right?
It was. COVID put a damper on some things, including the Inland Northwest Motorcycle Show. And it's a fun event. It's March 11th through the 13th at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center. And they have the Seattle Cossacks stunt show, which is super fun. And they have a bike-off competition. $12 gets you in. Fun event for families. And then you can also buy and sell merchandise. If you're a motorcycle enthusiast, this is a fun place to go if you're in the market for a new bike or maybe just some accessories for your bike.
Yeah, and it looks like it's $12 for admission, so that's definitely a steal. And yeah, the bike-off competition sounds very interesting.
Yeah, the stunt show is always fun.
So the next one is the one I'm most personally excited about. Andrew from The Bachelor is visiting Spokane. Okay, that is something to fangirl about. So yeah, he's visiting the Spokane Comedy Club. That's pretty exciting.
He is doing a stand-up show March 11th through the 13th. And the Spokane Comedy Club always has amazing talent coming through. They're a top-notch comedy club. And so, yes, Andrew Bachelor, King Batch will be here. Tickets are still available. I checked yesterday. And he, of course, made a big play on the internet. He has 60 million followers and fans, and which is a lot of people. So now he's into acting, and he also does stand-up comedy. So get tickets. I highly recommend buying ahead of time online, and then it's a 2-item minimum purchase as well. So once you're there, you have to buy 2 things while you're there.
Yes, and
it could be a drink, it could be a snack.
Yes, that sounds great to me. I know, I'm pretty sure all the GU students might buy that out now because everybody loves him.
He's gonna be here.
So another thing that has been kind of delayed is the St. Patrick's Parade.
Yes, it's back, and it's been around for 42 years, and that's a long time. And of course, COVID derailed all of that, but it's back. And March 12th is the day, downtown Spokane. If you're from Spokane, you know the drill. It winds its way downtown, starts at noon. So go get a seat and hang out. And of course, we've got our Irish bars here, O'Doherty's and Sean O'Donnell's, and we've got all sorts of places you can go and camp out and enjoy St. Patrick's Day.
I love that.
I do too. I'm excited it's back. It's nice to see.
Do they turn the river green here?
No,
I don't know.
They do not.
I was like, I actually don't know. I'm not really, this is my first spring here, so I don't know.
Nope, sure don't.
But that's super fun.
Yeah.
All right. So the Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show is March 17th through the 20th.
Yes.
And I don't know very much about this one.
This has been a long-running event at the Spokane County Fair and Expo Center. 300 exhibitors, all set up in over 100,000 square feet of space. So if you are into anything outdoorsy, hunting, hiking, fishing, whatever, camping, this is a great event. And all the profits go back to the Inland Northwest Wildlife Council, it's a volunteer organization, nonprofit. So your money goes back into something that supports our local efforts to fund habitat and conservation projects here in Spokane County. So anything you're looking for, outdoorsy, is at this event. And they've been doing it for decades here as well. So it's a great event.
Wow, so if I needed to go buy hiking shoes, all my profit would go back to them?
Well, that might not. I think it's the price of admission that probably goes back to the Inland Northwest Council.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's a great event.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So we have another music event on March 19th at the Bing Crosby Theater.
Yes.
The Spokane Orchestra.
The Spokane Jazz Orchestra is one of my favorites. If you've never gone, they're fantastic. And they're doing the Sounds of Gershwin, March 19th, as you said, and directed by Dr. Don Goodwin. And they're going to be, the big band, jazz flair, you'll get your toes tapping. They're really, it's a wonderful group, and I'm glad to see that they're back. They were on a COVID hiatus as well for the last 2 years. I think this is only their second concert in the last 6 months. So they're finally back, and of course the Bing Crosby Theater is a great place to listen to music with that shell, that beautiful old shell over the top. The acoustics are fantastic.
Oh, wow. That's super cool. Yeah, I've actually never been there, so I might have to go check
it's
it
wonderful.
out. Yeah.
It's the first stage Bing Crosby ever performed on live.
Oh, wow. Some history, too.
Yeah, it's an old silent movie theater. It's beautiful, and it's pretty original on the inside. So it's gorgeous.
Love that. And then we have another Spokane Comedy Club feature, Michael Rapport.
It's Rappaport. Michael Rappaport. He's been around forever. I threw this in because the Spokane Comedy Club, of course, has so many cool acts coming through. And March 24th through the 26th, he's been doing films since the 1990s. Beautiful Girls is one of my favorites. I think it's totally underrated as a film, and he's in that one. And he has lots of opinions. He's always on Twitter. I'm a big Twitter person, so I see his comments on things a lot. But he's doing his stand-up show at the Spokane Comedy Club.
Oh my gosh.
So if you are a big fan of Michael Rappaport, now's your chance to see him live.
Yes, and we do need some laughs nowadays. So
yes, we do.
Great to go there.
Yeah.
Julia Sweeney.
Yes.
Is the last March 26th.
Yes.
Tell me about her.
So speaking of laughs, she is Spokane born and raised. But she's probably best known for her roles on Saturday Night Live in the 90s. When I was in high school, she was a cast member, so I spent a lot of time watching Saturday Night Live in high school, and she created the iconic character Pat. She's funny, but she's bringing her show Older and Wider because she is probably older and maybe a little bit wider. She said it, not me, but poking fun at middle age and heading into your 60s. So she will be here. This show was supposed to happen back in 2020. And then COVID hit, so it's finally happening. Martin Woldson Theater at the Fox, March 26th. The best thing about this is they'll be filming this special for a comedy network special. So it'll eventually be on TV. And tickets are $25, which I think is quite affordable.
A steal.
I think so too.
And
I love that she comes home and stays with her mom when she comes home to visit, and she went to Cataldo and G-Prep, and
Wow.
she's a Spokane born and raised, and she's made a name for herself, so it's wonderful.
I did not realize how much pop culture like Spokane had inside of it, and like all the history. So yeah, that is very interesting.
There's always a Spokane connection.
Yes, I have learned that very quick by going to GU. I was like, oh my gosh, there's always something.
Yep.
I think the name Older and Wider is so funny. When I saw it on the events list, I thought it was a typo, and I was like, it's Older and Wiser for sure.
Nope.
No, I love it. That's so funny.
Yeah, she's funny, and I always enjoyed watching her when I was in high school, and she was on SNL. So
yeah, that's super cool.
And she's a voice on many animated films. You probably don't even realize it. But,
do you know any
off
the top?
off the top of my head? No, and I'm blanking.
That's okay.
I just watched one the other day with my kids, and I thought, oh, that's Julia Sweeney's voice.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
That was like a little trivia, a little pop quiz.
And I
fun.
failed.
It's okay.
I have failed miserably. Sorry, Julia.
She'll forgive you. So is Spokane, like, how is Spokane doing events-wise? Because I know a few of these are coming back from COVID. So
Yeah. Judging from the list, many of these events were either canceled for the last 2 years, or and are finally coming back, or were scheduled for 2020 and are now back. So it feels like we're coming back to life. Best of Broadway just announced their 2023 lineup, so it feels good.
Yeah,
to see things coming back to life. I see that Aladdin is on the docket for Best of Broadway next year, and so is Dear Evan Hansen. So things are coming back to life slowly but surely, and it feels good. So, and our conventions are starting to come back as well. So on that side of things, meetings and conventions are starting to book up again, and it feels good.
Yeah, it feels
we'll
more
get there.
back to normal a little bit.
And with the mask mandate lifting,
I know.
it's going to feel even more
normal.
Normal-ish. I don't think we'll ever be back to normal, but whatever normal is.
So off the top of your head, can you think of anything I could put on my calendar for the summer?
Oh gosh, well, Hoop Fest is back.
Oh wow.
We have that one coming back. I'm trying to think. Concert-wise, gosh. I see that Macklemore is going to be playing soon down at WSU. At the Beasley Coliseum. I thought that sounded like a fun one.
Yeah, no, that's
not
definitely
necessarily
a fun
Spokane,
one.
but it's in our.
It's in the realm.
It's in the realm. So put that one on your list as well.
Yeah, no, I will definitely be looking for that, because
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of cool events happening here.
I know. Yeah.
Look at us, Spokane. All right, well, you heard it here first. All the March events happening with Kate. So yeah, thank you. Oh. I have to redo that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all from us. Tune in each Friday for more of The Pulse. We hope to see you then, and until then, feel free to binge all of our content on YouTube or Facebook. Stay safe, and goodbye for now.
Contact us today to learn how PowerView automation makes everyday living effortless.
Why are housing prices going up so fast in the Spokane area? Hello, I'm Darren Watkins with the Spokane Association of Realtors. It's a simple case of supply and demand. Since 2010, we have seen the number of available homes on the market fall dramatically, from 2,348 in January of 2010 to only 164 per month in 2021. That's a 94% reduction in our housing supply. The result? Housing prices began to climb rapidly in 2015, with a median home price in Spokane County of $179,000. That same home today would cost you $380,000. That is, if you can even find a home to buy.
For the last, I'd say at least 10 to 15 years, I think we've been underbuilding. We've seen this crisis coming, and nothing's being done to fix it.
There are no homes to purchase. when there is a home that comes up that buyers like, you're up against 20 plus other buyers who are making an offer on the same house.
Adding to the crisis, thousands of families are fleeing major West Coast cities such as Seattle, Portland, and Los Angeles. Among the top destinations, Spokane, Washington.
When you talk about an out-of-town buyer, they've sold that home in a coastal market, let's say, a Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, LA, take your pick, for $1.5 million, and they come to Spokane and can replace that thing and be in a nicer home for $500,000.
When there are 20 plus offers on a property that they feel like they don't have a chance. So now they're having to look at homes far lower than they're even qualified for because they have to compete with cash deals or something that goes so much further over the list price, and it's extremely defeating for clients.
The answer is clear. We need more homes immediately, especially for entry-level workforce housing. Every day that we wait, those costs are just going to keep going up and up.